Hello, and welcome to our first episode of Reddit Stories with Friends. We're complete professionals and totally remember to do an introduction at the beginning of the video. This post recording is just for reasons. Today we're reading off of r/NeckbeardStories, and since this is our first recording, forgive us for the stiffness and awkwardness. We'll get better with time, but let's get right into this. Hello, my name is Ray, and we're here doing a fun Reddit video with friends. Go ahead and introduce yourself, guys.
Hey, my name is Jake. I'm the co-host of this little podcast we're doing here, reading some Reddit videos.
And I'm Jade, and I'm here for the ride.
Hey, I'm Teddy. Want to play D&D and have our characters get married? Haha, JK.
Unless, teehee.
Unless. Hey, I'm new to the subreddit and I decided to post after seeing some videos on YouTube by Walter Fate. I think people would love to read my story. I posted on a throwaway account for obvious reasons, also apologies as my English isn't the best. I am an 18-year-old girl and I moved to the area for university. I had few friends and it was hard to make some as I was in a new country and corona restrictions limited my ability to make new friends. There is a guy in my university who seemed a bit off, but I took it as just me being overly judgmental and I'm in a new country. Maybe I just don't understand. He was fat, did have some bad acne, BO, long greasy curly hair, and of course, he had a neck beard, pubic hair covering his chin and neck.
After our second class, he approached me and asked if I'd like to hang out with him and his friends after school, to play Dungeons & Dragons or something. I, not having many friends, said yes, so I went. None of his friends showed up, so it was just me and him in the dorm. That should have been red flag number 1. Great. Then he showed me his Reddit account and asked to follow me on Reddit. So he went through my post, and which made me feel uncomfortable, and he commented and upvoted all of them. He showed me his, and he was a moderator of AITA and some other subs. He told me about how much power he has, banning people he doesn't like, and I literally watched him ban people for seemingly no reason and took pleasure in it. I began to feel really uncomfortable now. I made an excuse of why I had to go.
He texted me nonstop. If I didn't respond to a text in 20 minutes, he'd call me, and he'd ask me why I was leaving him, and how he has social anxiety because everyone leaves him. I'd tell him I'm sorry, I'm busy or something. One day after class, he asked if he could help m'lady carry her books to her next class. Holy shit, I really cringed hard. I said I was okay. He then said that men should be gentlemen, and that he needs to help m'lady, as women are physically weaker and need men to help them out. Fucking hell, books weighed like 2 kilos. I don't need help with that. He followed me. He later asked me out on a date. I declined and he was furious, going on a massive rant, which I'll copy and paste here.
Yeah. Hey, I really have enjoyed being in your presence and getting to know you. I would be honored to be your man. I will be a gentleman and defend your honor with my meager life, my lady. Me. Hey, that's really flattering, but I'm not interested in pursuing a relationship at the moment, and I don't think we have any chemistry. Thank you for being my friend, but I am not interested in dating. I'm sorry, but I'm sure you'll find the one for you. Yeah. Once again, a female rejects my advances. You probably want a stupid Chad or asshole who'll treat you like shit and only wants you for your body. Once he's done with you, he will move on to another hotter woman. Stupid females don't know what is best for them. Feminism has caused women to think so highly of themselves and turn down the nice guys, the gentlemen, like myself, who treat you with the utmost respect. You would be my queen. I would do anything to please you, yet you're probably having sex with mini chads who only care about your tits and ass. You females are weak-minded and only think about one thing. And later you will come crawling back to me and I will turn you down. I just ignored him after that. He then spammed me with calls. After the 5th one I picked up, and he's saying he's going to kill himself. Great. He's just trying to manipulate me. So I hung up. He showed up to the next class, flirting with some new foreign exchange students. I talked to them in private and showed him what he did. They blocked him. I'll post updates. This dude got so salty, he actually banned my main account from Am I the Asshole? I never even posted there.
Holy shit. When I first read that, it was a lot.
Hell yeah, bitches love being called females. Am I right?
Honestly,
For
it
real.
is the most comforting thing to be called either like female or femoid. Ugh, makes me feel so happy. And like, why are people who play like Dungeons and Dragons either like the chillest people ever or the weirdest fucks in the
Who are
world?
these guys?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
By the way, they did have a comment section below it, and it had. I think you'll enjoy it. One person had said, "I've always had the feeling that moderators from Am I the Asshole were like that. Perhaps they were the assholes all along. Perhaps they were the real assholes, were the friends we made along the way."
Inspiring words.
hey,
Truly.
well, we're here, aren't we?
Truly.
True.
But that's a good one to start off on. It's to the point what we expect from creepy neckbeards, and honestly, an introduction that we can all get behind.
A little about me, I'm a 19-year-old male, female to male, so at work people tend to misgender me, which led to this little gem. I work at a hot dog stand, and oh boy, the types of people I see on the daily. I was at work, and lo and behold, in walks this 50-something man, his mask under his nose already there. I wanted to scream. After he orders, he proceeds to pull his mask down, showing teeth that looked almost rotten. And when he spoke, he sounded drunk. He suddenly complimented my hair. It's dyed blue, pink, and purple, which somehow led to him saying something along the lines of,
Neckbeard, so how does your boyfriend like it? Me, I don't have a boyfriend. Neckbeard, why not? You're so pretty. Are they stupid? Me, no, I just don't feel like having a boyfriend. Neckbeard, if I'd been your age, I would have dated you.
The actual feeling going through my body at that comment, the if he was my age, didn't hold up for long. As he made other gross comments about how hot I was and how he would like to date me, this man then suddenly told me about his kids. Lo and behold, his daughter is around my age, which didn't make this better.
He also manages to ask me if I drive, since I am 19 and work far away. Yes, I drive to work when I have the opportunity. Apparently, this man is a mechanic, and he won't shut up about how I will need his number if my car crashes. I really didn't want to talk to him, and really tried avoiding the topic since I'm already uncomfortable. But as he won't stop harassing me, I give in and write down his number. Still have it in my phone, planning some revenge. As I wrote it down, his last comment almost made me vomit. He took his food and looked at me before saying, "Call me if you ever have problems with the car, or if you ever feel lonely." The smug smile on his face. Let's just say I am tired of old men hitting on me, let alone them thinking I will give them some, just because they gave me a compliment. Now, what do you guys think I should do as revenge on this man? What can you do with a phone number?
Fun fact about this: in the comment session, they are actually talking about what they can do for it, and they've given the OP a lot of advice on how to get revenge. I'm not saying you should, dox people's numbers. However, if it happened to land in a trucker's stop and his number got scrawled onto a wall saying "call for a good time," maybe it's not that bad of an idea.
hey,
Yeah.
sounds perfectly legal to me.
Yeah.
I actually heard you can get these little stamp things on Amazon where you can customize stamps that you can put on dollar bills. And you can put their number and say they cheated on me or something, and they will fucking blow that person's phone up nonstop. If I saw that on a dollar bill saying someone had cheated on them, harass them, or do something, I would absolutely call that number. I do not care what that number would lead to.
I mean, there's also
Yeah.
the option of putting their phone number on your dating sites in the
Ooh.
bio.
That is also true.
But I feel like that is kind of bad for you because that makes you seem like you hold a grudge and petty, and like that could be a turnoff for some people.
Hey, why stop there? Print business cards, give them to every single person that hits on you that you don't like. And then
Teddy, if you were to give me a business card, you said, don't ask questions, just call this relentlessly, I would do it. Like, no questions asked.
well, I know you would, because you're down for anything.
Honestly, yeah, that's fair.
All right. Leading into our final story, we have one about a creepy neckbeard writing a good old steamy fanfic. Ray, if you
Oh
will.
no.
I have been listening to Vinci and Redx a lot lately, and hearing other neckbeard stories prompted me to remember my own encounter with the infamous species known as neckbeards. This is my first post, as I got Reddit in order to share my story. A few years ago, I was a freshman in college. I was nervous about making friends, and I was quite naive, thinking about the friends I made freshman year would be the ones I'd keep forever. Because of this idea, I didn't want to knock any opportunities to make new friends. And so when I met this particular specimen in my statistics course, I was really friendly. I came into class early, and it was just him sitting in the room. Let's call him Wolfie, in honor of his pastime of going out on campus and hollowing at the moon with his friends late at night. I thought it would be awkward if I sat far away from him, and I decided it would be a good opportunity to meet another student. So I sat down in the seat next to him. Wolfie didn't have the average appearance of a neckbeard. He was lanky, tall, and pretty average looking. Contrary to the stereotype of neckbeards smelling like a decaying body, he actually smelled quite nice. His outfit was more on the neckbeardy side, however, with oversized cargo pants and one of those good old wolf howling at the moon t-shirts. He smiled at me with a great grin and flashing his bright white teeth.
Wolfie. Hi, my name is Wolfie. What's your name? Me. Hi, Wolfie. My name is N. Wolfie. Wow, that's a great name. Are you worried about this class? Don't worry, I'm really good at statistics, so if you need any help, you can just ask me. I thought this was nice of him to offer, but despite being bad at math, statistics actually makes sense to me for some reason. The funny part about this was that over the course of the semester, I would find out that he was not, in fact, any good at statistics. He would constantly complain about the bad grades he was receiving. That's besides the point for the moment. I began to talk with Wolfie, and he seemed pretty nice and not weird at all. We had very different interests, as he was into gaming and witchcraft. I personally do not believe in magic, but I'm not about to put someone else's beliefs/interests down. So I would nod my head while he shared everything about himself. I guess he really liked having someone who listened to him and didn't make fun of his interests. I honestly thought it was refreshing to see someone who was just so themselves. Unfortunately, after the moment that we met, I was unable to meet any new people in class because he would insert himself into any conversation that I was having with anyone else. He would jump in to share facts about me in some sort of display of dominance, I guess. I would be talking about a random topic like cafeteria food with someone else, and he would jump in and say,
Wolfie, hey, did you know that N plays D&D? This is actually false. He once asked if I played and I said no, but my brother does, so I have heard a fair amount of stories about it. But for some reason he took this answer to think that I played D&D and therefore thought I was the coolest girl out there. As the semester went on, he went on to share his whole life story to me, and I just sat there, patiently listening. I should have made more of an effort to make other friends in the class, but oh well. I absolutely love editing people's papers. I have become the person all of my friends came to for editing advice. I love seeing the page all marked up. The worse the original paper, the better. I must have told Wolfie about this at some point because one day he came to class and asked me to edit an expression paper, whatever the hell that means. Being excited to to edit a paper, I said yes. He handed me a relatively large stack of papers stapled together. I slipped it into my backpack, unaware of the absolute horror I would find within later. So, what exactly is an expression paper, you might be asking? Apparently, it is a horribly long fan fiction of you and the girl you sit next to in class. Yes, he wrote a whole fan fiction about a character also named Wolfie who was in love with this girl from his statistics class. And you guessed it, the girl happened to have my name as well. It was sexually explicit, with his character watching my character after class every day until he wins her heart, and they have a steamy sexual encounter, and then quite a few more encounters. Oh, how much I wish I kept those papers to share with all of you now. It was just too crazy. I was quite shocked and grossed out by the story. Unfortunately, I didn't know what to do. So I did the only thing I could think of and edited the story and handed it back to him. I didn't want to deal with the situation and thought if I didn't edit the story, he would confront me about it. I don't really know how to deal with conflict, so instead, I hoped that if I never brought it up, he would forget about it. Unfortunately, he took my lack of response to the material as an invitation.
If you ever feel uncomfortable by a person, you are not obligated to do anything for them.
Not a single thing for them.
Your safety and your ability to exist as a human should not, hinge on someone who makes you feel that way. That is the disclosure I have to say right now.
And to the guys listening here, writing a fan fiction about a girl you like and giving it to her, not a very good look. Maybe try and learn about her interests and, not be a creep. Just
Chicks.
little thing to think on there, guys.
And D&D again, please leave it alone. I want to enjoy my tabletops. Do not plague it.
These stories are really shitting on D&D, bro.
It really is.
I promise not all groups are like that. People are not always weird. It is an enjoyable game. Stop ruining it, neckbeards.
There's a sacred thing in D&D called Session 0, where you establish boundaries and set expectations, and if that could be translated over into, friendships, that would be great. But the same people that play D&D apparently don't give a shit about crossing the boundaries of other people in real life, and it's really upsetting.
As I mentioned before, Wolfie had really bad grades. He would constantly grumble about how the statistics I'm learning must have been higher level statistics. And this basic stuff was just messing me up. At this point, I was getting fed up with him, but he was my only friend in the class, so I had to listen to him. The week before midterms, he asked if I could help him study. I don't study well with other people, so I knew the study session would be mainly for his benefit. But I felt bad for him since he was doing so poorly in class. Reluctantly, I agreed to meet him in the cafeteria when I was done with classes for the day. When I got to the table he was sitting at, I already had a bad feeling about what was going to occur. Ignoring my gut, I sat down with him and began to help him. We spent 2 hours going through the material, with him growling when he messed up and didn't understand the concept. I was a little embarrassed to be sitting with someone who was growling in the middle of the cafeteria, but I didn't know what to do. I'm a bit of a pushover when it comes to saying no to things. After 2 hours, it was already dark and I was hungry, so I told him I was going to go get food. I thought he would take the sign and leave, but he came with me to get dinner. Since my tactic didn't work, I ordered my food to go and said that I was going to go back to my dorm. He got his food to go too. When we walked out of the cafeteria and past his dorm without him going inside, I realized he thought he was going to come to my dorm room. I did not like the idea of him in there, as I was creeped out by him after the whole fanfic incident. I decided to sit down in the grass, quad on campus, to avoid having him in my room. Oh, how I wished we had gone to my room instead. At least my roommate would have been there too then. I began to scarf down my food in order to get out of the situation as soon as possible.
Wolfie, wow, you're hungry. Me, yep. Wolfie, you're hungry for some meat, I didn't know how to respond to that creepy ass attempt as a pickup line, so I just continued to shovel the food in my mouth. Wolfie smiled and put his arms around my shoulder. I immediately froze, panicking at the situation. We were in the middle of the quad on campus, so I thought it would have been safe. But it was dark, and there was no one walking around. I immediately realized what a bad idea this was, and I just stared back at him, dumbstruck at my situation. Before I knew what was happening, he just groped my breast. It took a few seconds for my reflexes to kick in, but I finally jumped up and shouted, "Me, what the fuck?" Wolfie, "It's okay. I know you're new to this, but I know you like me. It's okay. Just sit back down. I'll make you feel good." This terrified me, so I sprinted to my dorm, leaving my food in the grass. It took me a little while to process what happened, but let's just say I was not excited to see him in class. I unfortunately came late, and the only seat was next to him. I sat down, making a point not to make eye contact with him. I was so uncomfortable sitting next to him, but there was no other choice. He attempted to talk to me, but I ignored it. For the next couple of weeks, he tried to catch me after class to explain or convince me or whatever the hell he wanted. But I just bolted out, not listening to a word. He eventually took the hint and stopped talking to me. I'm sorry that this was so long and a bit anticlimactic. Thanks to all of you who got to the end of the story. I know it's not as crazy as some other neckbeard stories, but I just wanted to share my own encounter with you all. That was as crazy as the other ones. That being assaulted is big. You are valid in not wanting to deal with his ass. I am sorry you had to do that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's a report to the school to kind of thing right there, and I'd bet even the authorities as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're all, if they're in college, they're over 18. That's a sex offender list for life.
Absolutely.
It's such an uncomfortable thing having to like be an outside perspective in this, but like it's also really hard to like just sometimes just come out and tell authority figures, but not pressuring people, but it is worth it for your own safety in mind. Though obviously the OP was able to write this and they seem to have at least worked through this themselves. Glad they are safe, but holy shit.
Agreed.
D&D
Yeah.
neckbeards, stop. Consent.
Consent is a huge thing. You don't just grab somebody.
Even though this is on r/neckbeardstories, I believe this one would fit perfectly into r/let's not meet.
Oh, fucking absolutely. We are planning to do more stories like this. We're planning to do neckbeards. We're gonna do some let's not meet. What else do we have, Jake?
r/no sleep.
Oh yes, I'm really excited for horror stories.
Oh yeah, me too.
But we're planning to record on Sundays. We'll get them posted hopefully around Wednesdays, and hopefully we'll see you guys around.
Thank you guys for tuning in and listening to some creepy neckbeard stories with us.
Thank you, Teddy
Hope
and Jade, for
you'll,
coming out too. All right, we'll see you guys around.